Yeah, hey now. It's the Rob from 1061 Kiss FM and 1061 evansville.com. And it is so good to see this face. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Jerry Valeri. Boy, have I missed you.
Ooh, I've missed you. I have never been more exhausted after a vacation. I feel like Disney is military training for parents. It's so rough. And you push and you grind and you do things and you make your kids do things you never thought you'd make them do. Like, we opened up the Magic Kingdom on Saturday. We got there at 8 a.m. and we left the park at 1 a.m. That's a day.
That's a day. That's for sure a day.
That's a day. That's a long one.
But I mean, when's the next time you're going to be there? I mean, you got to live it up while you're there.
Exactly. And I somehow, even though it was 110-degree weather and I had to drink 3 gallons of water a day just not to die from heat stroke, I still found a way to gain weight. Like, I wouldn't believe. Like, when you first get there, you start looking around at all those people, like these gigantic, tragic ocean mammal fat things that are just floating around on scooters, and they're so big, and you're like, why are you even here? Like, I don't know what enjoyment you get from this.
I know. I love observing in places like that.
But at the beginning of the week, you're like, you should be in a hospital bed or something. You shouldn't be here. And at the end of the week, I'm like, hey, where do you get one of those scooters? Where do you find them things?
I really missed you last week. I don't know if you got a chance to catch up on the podcast, but we had Eric Cornish in after Raw for the Tuesday episode.
Rick Cornish is doing well as always.
Yeah, and I was flying solo on Thursday, but I made my predictions, and I'm assuming you are aware about
By the way, I call the ones where you do it by yourself. You should just call it post.
Okay, I will keep that in mind. I don't want that to ever happen again.
I know, but you know what? You downplay your ability to hold a conversation with yourself. Like, that's a skill radio people have, and you did a great job. And like 3 minutes in, I just saw you go whoop, right into a niche, and right into a nook, into a groove. And you were cooking. That was a good one. I enjoyed watching that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you texting the predictions over to us while you were in the Magic Kingdom. Let's talk about the show last night. We haven't spoken much about it. I'm concerned we may have differing opinions about the overall quality of the show last night. Right. Do you want to start with the ranking, or do you want to end with the ranking?
Let's end with the ranking.
Okay. I took my notes. By the way, I'm assuming then, since you said you watched the episode, and thank you for the kind words, that you are aware you are once again the lock-in of the Lock of Valor title holder.
Right. The Lock of Magnificence. Here's the deal. We only had one discrepancy. We only disagreed on one match, and it was the Jericho Zayn match, and it could have gone either way.
Yeah, but that made the match more interesting to watch.
For me to gloat about a victory here would be petty. It would be small and uncalled for.
You won.
So that said, oh yeah! 2 in a row, sucker!
You get the half brands. I got SummerSlam. That's a real pay-per-view.
I'm the king of the world. I got the biggies.
Congratulations. You
Backlash and Clash of the Champions.
Yes, you get all those. I get the real ones like SummerSlam and WrestleMania.
We'll see about that.
Well, I've already got a SummerSlam under my belt, Valeri.
Survivor Series is right around the corner.
Well, there's still, 8 more pay-per-views before it that I expect you to cash in on.
There's still 4,000 hours of wrestling programming before we get to Survivor Series.
Right, yeah, I know. There's a lot to get to. All right, so early notes, let me see. So I didn't have a whole lot on the tag team title match, except for I really felt like the whole night, Enzo and Cass felt conspicuous by their absence to me.
I thought they were going to maybe throw them on the pre-show or something, at least. Like, give them a match against the Shining Stars.
Maybe a promo?
I thought that they beat the Shining... Yeah, something was weird there. It's not often they would keep their hottest tag team, and I do think they're the hottest tag team
Oh yeah,
the show.
I don't think that's a bad call at all. I was a little surprised to see New Day retain. We both predicted them losing. I think it's got to happen sometime soon. I feel like Gallows and Anderson are a pretty good choice.
This would have been a good time for them to do it, and Gallows and Anderson looked good and vicious last night. I was disappointed with the ending of the match, but it was a good match. There were a lot of good matches last night. I
got to tell you, I don't know that I agree with that. I thought the matches were passable. I really found my my interest waning. I found it hard to pay attention last night, and I was in the mood to watch. Hold on, I made some, like, I don't know. It didn't have an excitement. It didn't have that water cooler moment for me.
I blame the crowd.
Okay, go ahead. I have thoughts about that too.
And I know that we're in your backyard, right? I don't know how far Indianapolis is.
Oh, it's not that close. 3 hours.
All right, listen, they were weak last night. They were dead. The crowd was dead. They gave the main event no help. I thought the whole way through the night, like, they were not a good crowd. I didn't enjoy them. They had no energy, and a good crowd adds to a pay-per-view. It just does.
You're right. I agree with what you said about the not having much energy, but I also thought in some ways they were more forgiving. It's, in my opinion, maybe you disagree, and it sounds like you might. Nothing last night, in my opinion, was all that worthy of a "This is awesome" chant. And I think there were 2 of them last night.
I wouldn't have done a "This is awesome" chant. However, I feel like, for me to sum up the pay-per-view, there were good matches that had questionable finishes. Like, I really enjoyed the tag match, but I wouldn't have given the belts back to New Day. I really enjoyed I enjoyed Cesaro and Sheamus. I was surprised by that. That was a great match. And the ending was
Yeah, that was a weird ending. I was unable to watch that match, just that one match, because of the connectivity issues. For some reason, there's always a match that the network doesn't want me to watch, and it was Cesaro Sheamus last night.
It was the best of their 7 matches.
That's not hard. That's been disappointing, the whole thing.
Right. So maybe they'll get another one. I don't know if it looked to me like there could have been a legitimate injury, and that's why they did it. But the WWE's also booked stupidly in the past, so
I'm going to go. That was stupid booking. Let's talk about the next match. In my opinion, was the highlight of the show. Again, I missed the best of 7 match, but the cruiserweight stuff to me is really, really firing to me. I like how I thought it was interesting that they put purple ropes on for the cruiserweight match. I like that it gave it its own identity. Speaking of getting its own identity, I feel like Brian Kendrick, he's kind of got, while it's odd, he's got a gimmick going on. He's got stuff together. And my God, TJ Perkins' entrance, for a video game fan like me, oh my goodness, that was a nerdgasm.
I love TJ Perkins. I don't know what it was about him. The first time I saw him on the CWC, I knew I loved it. And
you've always been a fan of his.
Man, I'm glad he has that championship, because I'm afraid that this cruiserweight division isn't going to get more than 1, maybe 2 matches on a pay-per-view. So they're not going to highlight. They're going to highlight the champion, and then who knows who else. So I want to see more of him. So I'm glad that they've got him fighting the Brian Kendrick for now.
Yeah, I don't think there will be more than 1 match really on a given night with the cruiserweight stars, but at least the 1 match that they're getting, they're long, they're fleshed out. I was worried they were going to be quick, disposable, forgettable matches, but they're given. I mean, did you watch Raw on Monday?
I didn't. I didn't.
They got a ton of time to work with, which was good. There was a 4-person match to determine the number 1 contender.
But he didn't even show up, right?
Right, yeah.
I heard you saying that. I didn't, I was knee-deep in Mickey crap.
Yeah, I understand.
That stupid mouse with his hand in my back pocket the whole time.
So I just think that's something that's going on. That's like my new obsession with wrestling right now. I love the Cruiserweight Championship, and now with that entrance from TJ Perkins, I just was so happy with that part. Let's see. Go ahead.
Best match of the night, right?
In my opinion, the Cruiserweight match was.
I would say that too. I think I enjoyed Zayn and Jericho more than most people, but that's because I really enjoy Jericho these days. And Jericho gave me so much joy at the end of the pay-per-view in one of the dumbest ways.
We are the champions?
Well, that and just the moment at the end where he's just yelling, Kevin Owens! Kevin Owens! Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens goes, keep chanting it. He's like, Kevin Owens. Like, those two work so well together, and I can't wait. You know it's going to blow up, and they're going to fight each other. But for now,
no, I agree. I have praise and criticism for Jericho. None having to do with his match really. Okay, we'll get there in a second. The next note I have, like I said, I didn't see Sheamus and Cesaro. It seemed like it was actually pretty good. I saw like the highlights at the end. I saw that it ended in like a no contest. Don't really know where they're going with it. I feel like I'm ready to see them move forward. But they're not ready for that yet. And
could have been a match of the night contender if it had a better finish.
Maybe. Like I said, I can't really say that because I didn't really see that match. The women's title didn't do much for me. The only note I had about that is it looks like Bayley's top was almost made out of an old Dusty Rhodes outfit. Did you notice the polka dots?
Oh yeah. Oh, I kept looking at the polka dots.
Yeah. Okay.
I enjoyed those polka dots. She really looks like she's fitting in perfectly, don't you think?
Absolutely. She's doing a great job.
She looks like she belongs there. Those three women really did a good job. And Charlotte didn't hurt anybody for once. Kudos to her.
Well, there's that. I was a little surprised that not only did Charlotte retain, but nothing happened.
Nothing happened. I wonder if the WWE, and maybe I'm just being a conspiracy theorist, but do you think they've got plans for like Triple H to come out at the end, or they're gonna have Dana Brooke do something, and then they read the internet is predicting it, and then they change it? You think they try so hard to stay ahead of the internet that they change their plans and then they don't do things that we think could happen?
I would say that they work on their feet in ways like that. I mean, I don't think that the internet is the be all end all, but I mean, if a secret gets out, they might make tweaks.
Yeah, if there needed to be more action last night, story-wise.
Story-wise, nothing happened, which is my big complaint about the show. If you can't tell, my review will be negative.
Yeah, if you can't tell, mine's going to be better than yours.
Probably. Is it going to be positive?
I'm going to say this, and I can say this right now. I thought the match quality last night, just enjoying watching wrestling, it was through the roof for me. I enjoyed the matches. I even enjoyed the women's match, which I never do, and I enjoyed a Sheamus match, which I never have.
I called every match passable.
They were all good. They had bad finishes, weird finishes.
Those are part of the matches.
From the crowd, I didn't like certain people winning. It didn't make sense to me. So I'm going to give it a C-. I'm going to give it a C-.
Okay.
But you know I'm a big Owens fan, so I'm glad he kept the belt. And I couldn't be happier that Roman Reigns won the U.S. Championship. I freaked out when he won. I was like a little kid. I was like the Steelers winning the Super Bowl.
Like that?
When Roman Reigns won the U.S. Championship, I was so happy. I was filled with joy. It was like watching my children be born.
Why is that?
Because he's no longer in the main event.
Yeah, that is a blessing.
He's no longer in the main event. Goodbye, Roman. You Samoan pain.
But he's also
a mother. Ooh, and he's gone. He's gone now. He's mid-card. He slides down. Give him the belt. Fine. Whatever.
Yeah, but
you can have it.
He's also in a good program, which is important too. Like that's important to that.
Whatever. Stop junking up the main event. Get your face out of the ring when Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens and the big guys are talking. Grown-ups are talking, Roman. You and your dumb bulletproof vest. Go away. He won the belt. Now he goes away.
Okay. Well, I agree. I thought it was fantastic that he won as well. I mean, it's I really don't care.
I wish he'd get caught for steroids again. I wish he'd hang out with Ryback.
All right. I said that Zayn and...
Oh, sorry.
I don't know where to go from there.
I've been holding it in.
No, it's okay. We were in the same spot. I think this is a fine spot for him. He doesn't bother me here.
He still bothers me, but he won't be in the main event now.
Like I said, if he get popped for something or if he got released, I wouldn't be upset about it. I would be a little happy because I do think he's eating up some valuable real estate on the roster. But
I wish he'd get into a program with Brock Lesnar so Brock Lesnar could crack his skull open and put him on the shelf for a month.
So Sami Zayn and Chris Jericho had a match. Whenever you're ready.
So I give the Roman Reigns message, D. I just picture Steve watching this and just white knuckling it. He's so upset.
Well, I'm not saying anything bad about him.
Because he loves Roman.
I know he does. He doesn't bother me here. That's just my only thought.
He's the worst. He's the literal worst.
All right, what did you think of Sami Zayn and Chris Jericho? Didn't deserve a "This is awesome" chant.
No, they didn't.
No.
I think the fans I think they fell asleep, and I think they woke up and they're like, "Oh, this is awesome!
I'm awake. This is awesome.
This is awesome." I don't know. I thought it was good. I like what Jericho's doing. I like saying I'm surprised. I'm not surprised because I picked Jericho to win. I think they after watching your episode, I agree with you. I think Zayn should have won because he's lacking momentum. It's sagging a bit.
It's killing him.
However, I knew Jericho was going to get the win there.
Yeah, you're right.
I just felt it because they're building this Jericho Owens thing.
That makes sense now that you point to it like that. But
they've got Stephanie McMahon all worked into it at the end. I didn't like that.
They're just boy. I guess I don't recall Stephanie McMahon. What did she do? Why don't I remember this?
So she brought out the ref at the end, and I thought again about what you said about the ref bumps. Like he got hit in his shoulder. I saw someone get hit by a car once, and they got up faster than that guy. So he gets hit in the shoulder, and he's just done for the day. He's just done for the night. Stephanie McMahon brings out a ref, and 3 seconds later, Kevin Owens gets the win.
Wait,
and then
Kevin Owens?
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about Sami Zayn and Chris Jericho.
Blew past it.
I remember that. I thought you were talking about Chris Jericho's match. I can't today.
Do you want to talk about Roman Reigns? I'm so sorry.
I don't know what has happened.
I traveled all day.
Yeah, dude, I'm tired too. I'm tired too.
I'm loopy. I'm back to the Zayn and Jericho match. It was good.
Okay, so I had one. There was one thing actually. Commentary we seem to talk about every single time, and I wanted to actually praise Corey Graves for something he did last night, if that's okay.
You may do that, but I made an observation about commentary last night that I never quite made before. So
okay, well, I do think commentary is still a huge issue, and in fact, I think one of the reasons why it translated so poorly on television last night was because the commentary really lacked excitement. However, I thought Corey Graves did one thing well, which is a little daring for commentators to do. I noticed it when it happened the second time. The first time was during the T.J. Perkins match when T.J. Perkins kind of missed a neck breaker. And the second time I noticed it was when Sami Zayn screwed up that tornado DDT through the ropes on the outside.
What did he do? I missed both of those. Okay,
well, Corey Graves acknowledged that they didn't get all of it. And I feel like that is something that the old breed used to not do. They used to try to sell it as in like, that was a vicious looking tornado DDT when in fact it was terrible looking.
It didn't look like it hurt at all.
Boy, that tornado DDT was bowling shoe ugly, King. And Corey Graves was just kind of like, I don't think he got all that one, and that happened twice last night. And I think that's the right path to go down personally when you see such an obvious screw up, in my opinion.
Right, or you look like a joke.
Right, yeah. So that I wanted to praise him for that. But again, shame on the commentary in general for being so unaffected last night by everything going on.
So bad. And I think my biggest complaint about it was something I didn't notice is I don't know what they're rooting for. I don't know. Corey Graves can't make up his mind. Like one match, he's a bad guy and a jerk. Point. The next match, he's a good guy. He's making fun of Seth Rollins, and then he's talking about Seth Rollins being great. Like, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it's because I think he and Byron Saxton sound so much alike that I can never tell which one's talking. And then it's just so bad. It's just terrible. It's the Roman Reigns is broadcasting.
Okay, so there's that. And then I don't have anything until the main event. Did you have thoughts before the main event?
Not really. Let's go to the main event. I've been trying to get there for the whole time by accident.
I thought there was a top rope gutbuster right before Kevin Owens' frog splash that looked really ugly. I thought someone may have been hurt, but it looked like they were both okay.
I thought that Seth Rollins may have legitimately cracked a rib.
Yeah, but he didn't, or at least not that I know of, at least.
Yeah.
So kudos to them for not injuring despite a screw up.
Was I the only one that thought that was a great match?
I thought it was a good match.
Great match?
No, I would say it was a good match.
Great match?
I can't go great. Even though the crowd gave it a "This is awesome" chant, maybe I was just deflated from what I would call, and I'll be honest, I give the show a D-. No, I'm sorry. What did I give it? I gave it a D+.
All right, well, I give it a C-.
Yeah.
And that goes right in line with us, because I feel like you're harder grading than I am.
Well, yeah, I mean, a little bit usually, but here's I have a few more thoughts about the main event, but I said that the show didn't work for me. I'm not invested in anything going on. The commentators are not making this exciting to me. All the matches are passable, but there's no match where I was like, man, you had to see this match. Even as good as the Cruiserweight title match was, and the main event was very good as well. The intensity that the Sheamus and Cesaro had was on point, but there was nothing like you really missed a great match. That even I got out of the SmackDown pay-per-view, like the Ziggler-Miz match, I would recommend to people, and the Styles-Cena match, I'd say you need to watch. I didn't have any of those moments last night. There were no water cooler moments storyline-wise. Like if you missed the show last night, you didn't miss anything storyline-wise except for Roman Reigns winning the U.S. title. Right.
They had a WWE.com exclusive where right after the match, Stephanie got in the car with Triple H, and they had like a smirk, so it almost looked like Triple H was behind the second ref coming in.
But I remember the second ref coming in, but I don't remember Triple H being a part of it. I don't remember him at all.
No, he wasn't. Stephanie brought him out and then had a smirk, and then it was just a WWE.com exclusive video that I saw today.
Okay, gotcha.
You see Triple H. Triple H wasn't on the pay-per-view itself. I don't know. It was a weird ending. I loved it because I'm a huge Kevin Owens mark. I'm afraid that he is champion at a time when Raw ratings are at an all-time low, and he's going to be in trouble. Like I don't want people to blame him as the champion for Raw's crap ratings. Yeah,
that was something that Diesel was saddled with, and I think that is so short-sighted to blame the champion for the fault of all of the shows. I'm not saying Diesel was a great champion by any stretch of the imagination, but he's kind of carried that weight of being like the champion during the worst financial time in company history, and that is it's so short-sighted to just put it on one guy.
Right. So I'm afraid they're going to pull the trigger and take the belt off of Owens if this continues, but I hope not, because I like him as champ, and I love him and Jericho being besties. That makes me happy.
Well, I actually have just a few more Jericho notes before I have exhausted all of my thoughts. And I want to say, to your point, I don't think they're calling an audible or even are really worried about their Kevin Owens choice, if you want my honest opinion. I don't think they're there yet.
Good.
So, but I hope that we continue to disagree about that, because for the next pay-per-view, I would like to think that, maybe the ratings could scare the writers, and you might think that Kevin Owens is going to lose when in fact he's going to win.
Right, and you'll pick the wrong one no matter what, because I keep winning the locks of champions.
Well, you've got a point there, that's for sure.
2 in a row.
So I've got praise and criticism for Jericho before I close out my thoughts. You're right when you said he was awesome about just being that heel best friend, little sidekick of Kevin Owens last night. I loved him singing "We Are the Champions" when Kevin Owens was the champion.
And wearing the Kevin Owens shirt.
Yeah, stuff like that is fantastic. The only criticism I have of Jericho, do you know what I'm going to say?
I don't think I do.
Shame on Jericho for that run-in. those stomps, I don't know if he didn't know the camera was on him, even though he should have because he just run in. He gave the weakest stomps to Seth Rollins, like laughably bad. And the entire run-in was so poorly executed to me. It's not the fact that it happened. That's fine to me. It was like he was stomping a baby, Jerry. And go back and watch it if you don't remember. It was like he was in there with a toddler and didn't want to hurt him.
Well, I know there have been times where I've stomped babies, and you do pull up a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to give your full stomp.
No, you're not crushing a spider. You don't want to kill the baby. You just want to injure it severely. He's
in there with Seth Rollins, and he's pulling back so distractingly to me.
Which is very stark in contrast to the match, because I thought the match was relatively stiff with those two.
Agreed.
Yeah, those turnbuckle shots were really, really strong.
Yeah, and just like when they went out of the ring, and they're two guys who are known for being stiff. I mean, Rollins is probably notorious for being the least safe worker on the roster, or maybe yes, he's injured. Sting, he broke Cena's nose. He just hurt somebody a couple weeks ago. I remember Bret Hart commented on. I don't remember who it was, but he's always. Oh, it was Finn Balor. And he's always happens to be in the same match where people are getting career-ending injuries. Well,
they should do a program with him and Goldberg and see who survives.
Or Roman Reigns.
Put him in with Roman.
So yeah, he's notorious for being an unsafe worker. I'm not positive I agree with it, but the evidence is certainly mounting against him. And then Owens is definitely known for being a stiff worker for sure. The prize fighter. So yeah, I'm not surprised that match was stiff. And then Jericho comes in there, and maybe it's because the match had been so stiff up to that point. But if you don't remember this, or you think I'm making it up, go back and rewatch just Jericho's run-in. I'm telling you, it was awful.
I'll have to see that.
So anything you want to add? Oh yeah, I have something I want to add. But you go first if you have anything.
Well, Rob, I'm a little disappointed you didn't mention my match on the pre-show. I squashed Alicia Fox and you didn't say anything. I wore purple and everything, Rob.
I'm sorry, Nia. I thought you looked great last night. I thought you had a fine match, your first pay-per-view appearance, although it was technically a pre-show. And you did a very good job, I thought, in your spot on the pre-show working with Alicia Fox.
I felt pretty.
We've been overdue for a Nia Jax impression, I think.
I was waiting.
Listen, Jerry and I work in radio.
Yes.
And there's a lot going on tonight. And I'm afraid this is one of those very rare occurrences where we will not be able to watch Raw live.
Right.
The debate, I feel like, is super important for us to watch as people who are interested in this political season and people who have to talk about it the next morning. What if we just reconvene maybe Wednesday and Thursday, or just Wednesday, or we'll figure out. I don't think tomorrow we'll have a Raw recap. I think we'll have to save that for the next day. What do you think?
Let's do a Wednesday. If we can watch SmackDown Tuesday night, that'd be great, because we could do a super show like the good old.
Yeah, maybe we'll just cover both of them Thursday or Wednesday.
That'd be good, because here in Happy Valley, in addition to the debates, there's we're 2 minutes from Penn State, and Pagula Ice Arena is having an NHL preseason game. And so I'm going to be there for that, for a little bit of that. The Buffalo Sabres and the Minnesota Wild are going to be there. So
we like to bring you those Raw recaps as soon as we can. I try to take that very seriously. With just so much going on tonight, look for that Wednesday, please. And I apologize if that upsets anybody, but that's what we're going to do.
Well, if it upsets you, then deal with it, because I'm upset about Roman Reigns. There's nothing you can do about it, you suckers. Here's what I'll tell you. Look at your crystal ball. I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen on Raw tonight. Ooh, Roman Reigns is going to suck.
For myself, The Rob, and my tag team partner, Jerry Valeri, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll chat again on a Wednesday.
I can't hear the music. There it is. There it is. Roman sucks, Roman sucks, he sucks.